Namaste everyone, this is Shrikant Rangdal and we are here on the day 4 of the faculty development program on effective use of Moodle platform for NAAC and NBA purposes. So in the previous topics, in previous days, on the first 3 days we went through various topics. On the day 1 we went through the introduction of the Moodle platform, how it can be used for all kinds of activities which are important from NAAC and NBA perspective. On the second day we went through the phase 0 wherein we discussed the different methods wherein teachers who are not very familiar with technology, who are not very friendly with the technology, can start using Moodle platform for distributing notes to the students and accepting the assignments. On the third day we discussed the phase 1 wherein we learned how to what are the different types of questions available for Moodle platform, and also we learned about the creating all these different types of questions directly from the Moodle interface. Now in the day 4, that is today, we are going to study, we are going to take that journey a little forward, and we'll be studying about all the other things. There are lots of other activities apart from quiz that we have available here, so we'll be learning about this in today's class. So let me sign in again to the Moodle program and open up the engineering graphics course and see what those activities are. Okay, so the first activity we'll be talking about is a book. Fine. So a book is usually a collection of different pages, and the pages are going to be listed on the right side here in the space where blocks usually appear, and in each of these pages we can upload or we can type in some data. Fine. Pages and pages of data can be typed and uploaded here. So this can be this particular table which you see on the screen has been designed to inform the students about this particular course. So you can see I have typed in the course outcomes over here. There are a total of 5 outcomes that we want the students to attain by the end of this course, and then we have the syllabus of this particular course as it is present in the university syllabus book, and then assignment marks, how they can score the assignment marks, and all kinds of other information that the students are required to know in order to start using the Moodle. They're all presented over here in this book. So the same book can be actually used for presenting the notes of a particular topic to the students as well. So for example, I have kept some notes on scales here in this particular notes, and you can see it is present in the form of various topics. All right, so this is the scales and the types. Then we have plane scales, and I have also listed steps for drawing a plane scale. Okay, so on the left side I have given the normal steps, and on the right side I have given the sequence of commands to be applied in AutoCAD, and this whole thing has been presented in the form of a table. So you can have table, you can have simple text, you can make paragraphs of it, you can add headings, you can also have a different formulae presented in the proper format by using a format called text, which is obtained from LaTeX, which is a document format used for publication of most of the journals that we find around. So that's about the notebook. So let's now learn how to create this notebook as a new user. So once again I'll have to, okay, let's keep it aside for now and open a new incognito mode. We'll use the same link and let's sign in as a new user. Okay, so the new user password. So the last time in yesterday's class, at the end of it, we had switched it back to the teachers mode, and so you can see the edit option is actually appearing over here. So let's actually go back to my courses, and yeah, so this is the demo course we had created, and this course will be using for all kinds of demos. So we had created uploaded files in the first phase 0, and then we created assignment and uploaded notes files in the phase 1. And today we are going to continue the journey and create a few other things over here. So let's first, okay, so I'm not added as a teacher to this particular course, I guess, so I'll have to probably log out and come back in as an administrator. So let me come back in as administrator, and okay, so I'm back as an administrator, and I want to change the new user to a teacher instead of student. I want to make him a teacher. Okay, so you can see new user is present as a student right now, so I just have to delete the student and I want to make it a teacher. Let's click on save, and on the right side when I refresh this page now the new user is presented as a teacher, and you can see the edit button is appearing here. So let's enable the edit button, and as soon as the this button is enabled, we will get options to make all the changes. So you can go on clicking on this pencil button to change the values, we can add the activities, we can add the topics, and so on and so forth. So let me go ahead and click add. Okay, so not the topic, we don't want a topic, we want to add an activity. So because notebook is an activity, so click on add activity, and here you will see the option of book appear. If that is not appearing, we can just type a few starting words, and okay, it's going to be shortlisted actually. Okay, so now the book is open and it's providing us with some options. Let us maximize this and try to see what are these options. The first, of course, is the name of the book as it is visible to the student. So let's say notebook or notes. We can just type it like this, and if you want to give some description, you can describe what is there in the book, describe the contents of the book. Okay, contents of the book. And if you want this description to be visible to the students on the main page where they open the course, you have to tick this mark. If you don't want that to be appearing to the students, you can just leave it unchecked. Appearance. So how do you want this to be appearing? Like you want it to be appearing as numbers or bullets. So right side when you see, okay, it's not that. So whether it should be listed as numbers or as bullets, that's what it decides. Okay, right, yep. So here when you see numbers are given here, so instead of numbers, if you want bullets or indented, then accordingly it will be selected. So by default it is just set numbers, so let's leave all these tasks as undisturbed, and let's just go ahead and create. So save and return to the course will take you back to the course page, and if you click save and display, it will display the notebook by opening it. So now the book is open, and you can see that the first thing it is asking us is the chapter, because no other chapter has been added to it. It's completely blank, so we are supposed to first add the first chapter to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the first chapter. So chapter 1, you can name it anything you want, and you can add the contents. Okay, so just going to copy paste it a number of times. So let's say it's a kind of a paragraph or something. You can add this as many times as you want, and then click save. That changes. Okay, wow, why is it appearing like this? Anyway, so you can see that we have added the contents to this particular page, and this page is going to appear here in the table of contents. Okay, so first chapter has been added, and if you click on the settings here, we'll be able to go back and make the edits over here. Okay, So for some reason it's not coming down. So text wrap has been removed, I guess. Anyway, let's try to see if something is there. No, this is never. Anyway, it has not happened before, but anyway, so this is how you can add the contents, and you can just click save, and these changes will automatically reflect in that particular page. So if you want to delete a page, you can just click this bin, and you will get an option to delete it. If you want to hide it for some time till it's ready for the students to see, then you can just turn it off by clicking this eye icon. And finally, if you want to create a next page, you can just click on this plus sign, and you will get option here to create a page. So let's say we want to create a chapter 2, and we want something like more contents. Okay, yeah, so this one is appearing like a paragraph, right? And click save changes. Okay, so you can see we have the chapter 1 in a separate page, and chapter 2 is present in a separate page. So a lot of time what happens is we want a sub page of chapter 1. Then what you have to do is you can just click on the plus sign, and here sub chapter we want. So when we have a sub chapter, it should also appear like a sub chapter, so we have to click this icon over here. Okay, okay, so part 1 of chapter 1, let us say, and that should appear as a sub chapter, and let's say sub chapter contents. We can put all the contents, and let us say they are the contents. So when we save it, I can take a look at the numbering. You can see this is 1, the first topic, and this has become 1.1. Fine. And this is how we can create sub chapters. So the name of the chapter and the sub chapter both are going to appear at the top here like this. We can go on creating as many sub chapters as you want. Fine. So let us say part 2 of chapter 1. If you choose part 2 of chapter 1, you need not select this as sub chapter, or else it will become sub chapter of this content. Okay, so let's remove this and click save. We have to add the contents of let us say this, and add these contents. So let us say we have added a paragraph and closed it. Okay, so fine, so it has appeared as a main chapter, so maybe we'll have to select the sub chapter. So sub chapter, click OK, and now you can see it's a sub chapter. You can also move the topics above and below. You can just use these arrows to move it down or up. So if I click this down arrow, the part 1 will appear below the part 2. Fine, so this way you can just change the order in which the chapters are appearing. Fine. So hope you have understood this particular part, and of course while editing the contents, you have access to most of the functions, most of the editing options that is available in the Moodle in MS Word. Fine. So here you have the option for setting the heading like large, medium or small, and then you have bold, italics. And you can also make it appear in the form of bulleted list of contents or numbered list of contents. You can increase or decrease the indent. Okay, let's say let's do one thing. Let's all right. Okay, so let's say these are some points, and if we just select the points, click on this, it'll appear as bullets. For this, it'll appear as numbered lines. You can increase or decrease the indent. Parts of these, if you want to increase or decrease, you can do that as well. Okay, so the numbering and all is actually going to follow the same format like this. Okay, so this is about the bullets, indents and all. If you want to link a particular Word or something to some other place, I can click on the link, and let's say I want to link it to my web YouTube site. You just copy the link of the YouTube site and paste it over here. So this is the text to display, and this is the link where it will carry me when I'm clicking on this. If you want this to open in a new window, you can just click on this and click create link. Now you can see this has become a link, and when I click save to the students, it will appear in this color, and when they hover over this, you can see the cursor is changing to a hand, a index finger kind of a cursor, and if they click on this, it will result in redirection, and my YouTube channel, the URL of which I have given in the hyperlink, will open up. Fine. And because I had selected it to open in a new window, it's opening up in a new window. Fine. So that's about the hyperlink. Let's see what more is there in this. So we're back in editing mode again, and here you have the option of picking some emoticons, emotional icons. Fine. So lots of different varieties are present, so any of these icons you can use. And then we have option of inserting a photograph. If you browse the repositories, if you have some files in your repositories, you can take it from here, or you can upload a new file by clicking over here. The same file can be inserted over here. You can also just copy paste the diagram directly. So let's say we add this. Okay, so let's open it up in editing format. Open edit. So let me select this all, copy this by Control-C, and if I come back here and press Control-V, the image is going to appear. If I double click on the image, I'll get option to adjust the size of this. So let's say we want to reduce the size of this, press enter, and you can see the size has now reduced. You can insert images, you can insert contents and all those things. If you want to insert an embedded video, you can do that from by clicking over here. So you have to select video and URL source. So let's again go back to one of the video sources. Let's click here and share. Let's copy the URL, and when we come back here and paste this over here and click insert media, the same is going to appear like this. Okay, so that way we can insert emotional icons, pictures, videos, audio file. If you want to insert, you can click here. You can upload MP3 or WAV format of file, and the same can be uploaded. If you want to record a video right now, and you can just use this functionality here, and then you have an option to manage the files. You have option to insert H5P. H5P is a more interactive, advanced content that you can create. We'll learn more about this in the coming days, and so for now we'll just leave it at that. And if you expand this, we will get further more options around here. Okay, so let me just cut this open, bring this down over here. Okay, so yes, so this way the video can be moved up or down, just same as text. Fine. So you can just press enter to move it down. You can add contents in between, before that, after that, and so on and so forth. So this is the one thing. It's fine. So if you want equation, you also have an equation editor available here. You can just okay, use the text editor, like for example, let me type in a simple equation, like okay, this one is going to be alpha. This is okay, it's not appearing properly. So let's say All right, so this way it's going to make the equation. Let's remove these things, I guess, and it will be printed as equation. So when you save the equation, it will be inserted here, and when you save it, even though it's appearing like a code format, but when you save it, it will appear in the equation format over here. Fine. There are various different formats in which equations also can be presented, and we'll just learn about two of the most important ones. So this will print the equation in line with the text. Fine. So if you are typing some text, so in line with that text, the formula will appear. Whereas if you remove this and type two $signs, fine, so this equation will be centered and enlarged. Okay, let's click and save and see how that's going to appear. So okay, so $sign is not worked around here, so maybe this is some problem with the visibility. Anyway, so you understood how to create equations. If you know the text code, you can just insert the text code and that will be converted to equations. Okay, and you can see the video is also embedded. When the students click on this, the video starts playing. They can move forward, backward, and see everything that that YouTube, all the features that YouTube provides, all those can be visible here. If the students want, they will get a link over here as well, and okay, so they can click on this link to go to the channel from which the video has been embedded, and so on and so forth. So this is how we can create the notes. So now let's okay, so I think most of the things that you were supposed to learn about the table of contents, this book, has been cleared. So now we will go ahead to the next important feature, and that is glossary. So you may be saying here that this word line was not hyperlinked by us. We didn't create any hyperlink for this, and we created the hyperlink for the word contents, and I think that word has gone somewhere. Okay, anyway, but line was something we didn't actually hyperlink, so this automatically got hyperlinked. Fine. And when we click on this, a kind of definition is opening up here, and it's showing the meaning of that particular word. Fine. So this is happening by something that we call as glossary. Okay, so let's go back to our main page of the course, and we will create a glossary over here. So glossary is also an activity or resource, so we just have to click on plus, add an activity, and from this list we have to select a glossary. Okay, so this here is the glossary, so click on that, and this page provides us with the settings of the glossary. So what do you want to call it? So I'll just call it definitions of terms or something, because I want to include all the technical terms that I'm using in this particular course, and I'll be inserting the definitions of all those terms in this glossary. So glossary is like a dictionary which is automatically linked with the terms anywhere on that particular course. Fine. So rest of the details we are just going to leave it and just click save and return. Actually, we should have, okay, anyway, so we are back on the course page, so we can go back inside the glossary, and we can see this is how the glossary will appear. Okay, so let me just zoom in a little so that everyone can see it neatly. So at the top we have an option to add the entry. We can also import entries if we already have them in supported formats, and we can also export the entries that we have already made in this in supported format, so that we can insert them back into other courses that we are using. So let's quickly learn how to add entries. So let me just click on add entry, and let's say I want to define more, because this is the word I had used in the book. Okay, so, and definition, well, um, well it means there is more data of similar type inserted in the notebook. Okay, so this is the definition of more, and wherever this word more will appear in the notebook or anywhere actually on the course, it will be automatically linked with the definition. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how that's happening. You can see auto linking has been enabled. If you want this to be case sensitive means if the capital and small words, if only the small letters need to be linked, then you can just make it case sensitive. So if somewhere we have capital letters used, then that will not be hyperlinked in that particular case. So let us leave all these things as it is. Click on save, and now we can see that the glossary is having one definition for the word more, and this is the definition. Okay, so now let's open our notebook in a fresh page. So glossary of terms, we'll keep it here, and we have opened this in another page. And now we can see wherever the word more was there, now it has become blue automatically. We didn't go ahead and create hyperlinks for all of these. Fine. So, and whenever you click on the word, the definition that we typed in the glossary is going to automatically appear over here. Okay, so that's how powerful the glossary is. So for every course, we can find out how many different terms are there, and for all these terms you need to define all these terms properly in the glossary. And once all these terms are defined properly in the glossary, automatically wherever that term appears throughout your course, fine, except for of course in images, because images cannot be read easily by the computer. It's actually not that advanced as of yet. Maybe in the future it's going to happen, because we are seeing the artificial intelligence capabilities growing by heaps and bounds as the time is going on, and that may soon become a reality, but as of now it's not the case. So images will not be detected, but wherever you have typed the word, that term, anywhere in the course, the same is going to appear here. So let's go ahead and see whether the same is going to appear in the forum as well. So let's say I'm giving an announcement here. Okay, so let me add a discussion. I want to announce, or let's say notice, okay, the assignment needs to be submitted by, let's say, by so and so date. Let us say, I'm just going to make it say more will be provided later. Okay, so we have this word more, and I can see I have not used this hyperlink, and it is completely free, it's not blue. And now let me just post it to the forum, and okay, so the post is now added. If we open the post, we can see that both the assignment and more have now automatically got hyperlinked. So assignment is the name given to, okay, the assignment that we had created in our previous class. In the phase 0 of our development, we had created an assignment, fine, and that is what has got automatically linked with this. When we click on that assignment, we'll automatically shift to the assignments part, right? So we can see that there are 2 assignments, and that's the way it is. Let's come back, and when we click on more, it's providing us with the definition. So not only are the terms in glossary automatically linked, but also whatever activities we are having here, so the name of the activities, if it is matching up with this, that will also be automatically linked. Okay, so this is all done by Moodle without our knowledge. Fine, so we don't have to worry about hyperlinking each of these activities wherever they are. So we just need to ensure one thing, that is that the name of every activity that we want to automatically hyperlink must be it must be unique, and repetitions should not be occurring. Fine. So once we ensure that, I think most of these things will be appearing automatically. Fine. So that was about the glossary. Fine. So let us add one more term to this, just to ensure that we are correctly doing it. So let us say we want to add a definition to submit button. Fine. So we'll have to go back to the glossary, and let's say we want to add a set of instructions for the students, and wherever the word submit actually appears, so let's say submit. So submit we'll define, and in the keywords we can add all kinds of variations of the word. Fine. Submitted, submitting, whatever various variation of the word submit are there, they're going to appear here. We can add instructions for submission, and we can add contents, so number of instructions, 1 2 3, so on and so forth, and we can just go ahead and save it. And now you can see there is another word here called submit, and these are the keywords. So any variation of this or the keyword, wherever it appears, it is automatically going to be linked to this particular thing. So let me just refresh this, and as soon as it is refreshed, you can see that the word submitted is automatically linked. If I click on that, I'll get the instructions. Fine. So this way you can use glossary in various different ways. And I have just shown you a use case scenario wherein I want the students to be able to get the instructions wherever the word submit comes up. But you can also use the technical words. You can make a full dictionary of the technical words for your particular course, and you can create a glossary of it. And wherever these technical terms are appearing, the same is going to be automatically linked with the glossary. So that is about the glossary. Then yeah, so let's see. I think most of the things that I had planned for this one is already over. Let's go ahead and check out one more thing, that is H5P. Okay, so let's check out H5P. Okay, so let's come here. Alright, so let's go to the notebook, and here let's say I want to add a quick question for the students. So let's say after watching this video and reading the contents, I want to just ensure whether they have actually seen the video and understood the topic. My aim is not to ensure that the students actually view the whole video, but my aim is to ensure that the students are aware of the particular topic that I'm trying to explain in this particular page. So then the one of the ways in which I can do that is by creating an H5P content. Okay, so we'll have to come here, and let's say I want to insert that question over here. Then I have to go for H5P, and then actually I need to browse and content bank. Okay, content bank is where all the H5P things are saved. So currently I don't have any H5P content, so I'll have to just come back. Okay, so first let us create the H5P content. For this, let's come back to our course page. This page I'm going to just leave it like this, open, and I'll just open here, and you can see the option content bank is present in more option. So let's open the content bank, and here you can see there is no content bank. We have an option to add a content. Page is loading. Let's wait for some time. And Okay, so when we click on add, you can see there are lots of content, different types of contents are actually present over here. Okay, so let's say we want to insert a quick question of a kind to the students. So let's go for an MCQ question. The interface is going to take some time to load up, so be patient and allow it to load. Okay, it's loading up. Loading. Oh, okay. It's going to take some time. So meanwhile, let's go back to the website. It's taking much longer than needed, yes. But anyway, let's wait for some more time. Meanwhile, we'll just go through the list of all the contents that we can create. So let's go back to contents bank. Still loading. Okay. Wow. Okay. So we have accordion, then we have advent calendar, Agamotto, arithmetic quiz. This will generate a random set of quizzes for the students to answer. Students would have to choose out of around 6 options. So something like 2 plus 2 will be given, and in the options we will get 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And the students has to choose the correct answer. So in this there is an option for fractional addition, fractional multiplication, fractional division, and so on and so forth. So if you think the student is not very good with calculation part, and if you want to ensure that the student is actually good at that, then you can insert one of these. But of course this is not an activity or a feature which gets recorded in the grade. So it's just going to be like an enjoyable activity for the student. So you're suggested to use it with the same purpose or aim. Okay, still not loaded. Okay, still taking longer time. Let's say arithmetic quiz. Okay, so I guess this is dependent on the server speed. Maybe a lot of students are accessing the course right now, and it's taking much longer. So let me quickly go to another website. Log in here. Okay, it's not loading at all. So basics, arithmetics. I had added a few H5P contents over here. Let me see if they are still available. These are all quizzes. So okay, let me just go ahead and add a quick H5P content over here. It's still loading. Let me go ahead and add a book. H5P, that's the name I want to give it. Oh, come on. Let's see if it loads up here a little faster. H5P1, first page. And here let's say I'm okay, first I had to create this H5P content. So let me go back to the course page, and I have to add the content. Oh, fine. I think it's not going to load, so let's stop worrying about that. So let's come back here and add this MCQ, multiple choice. Okay, so you can see it has loaded much faster because now this is the server provided by Moodle Cloud, which is official provider of the service, and hence it's much faster. Probably our college, a lot of students are accessing this Moodle at the present time, so it's not taking up the load. So we can just give it our title like MCQ or objective question. You can type the question here, which option is correct, let's say, and you can put all the options. Option 1, or no, wrong option, and wrong option 2, wrong option 3, and so on. Okay, and add an option. Okay, so correct option. So you can just mark it as correct, and let's go ahead and save it. So this is now saved, and now when I go for H5P and browse the repositories in the content bank, I will see that MCQ which I just now created. Okay, so I can go ahead and select this and insert, and you can see that H5P has been inserted. So when we save it, that's when it's going to appear. Okay. Okay, so this is how the H5P content is going to be visible. Let me just remove the dark background so that you can clearly see it, and you can see this is a very interactive and lively thing here. So if the student selects the wrong option, go first check, marks will not be added. So of course this is not going to be considered in the grade book, but student will come to know at least that he is wrong, and the reason for why he is wrong and all can be added it if you want. So you can go back and do it again and check it. If it is correct, he is provided with this interactive kind of star mark, and it's kind of a baby thing for good for students. Maybe we consider our own engineering students as very mature. In that case it is not needed, but in every kid, even in a lecture, there is always a small kid hidden. So I guess this is one way in which you can encourage the students to clear the doubts about a particular topic. So after giving a definition or a big paragraph of notes for the students to study, we can just quickly insert this H5P content for the students to verify their knowledge about this particular thing. So it's a quick way to ensure that the students are good with this. We can also create these kind of questions within the videos. Let's say we are playing a video, and after playing the first 1 or 2 minutes of the video, we want to ensure whether the student is clear about a few concepts before we allow the student to move ahead and watch the next part of the video. Then we can do that as well. So that as well can be created using H5P, but of course it's going to take much more time for me to explain that, so I'm just going to leave it at this. Okay, then let's quickly go through the calendar. Forums and announcements we have already done. So we have another option called page and URL. Okay, so page and URL, let's just go through quickly. So I'm going to come back. Okay, so let's be back here on our actual course, or the demo course, and in this demo course we are going to create some more stuff. Let's next create a page. So now you can see the notebook is a collection of pages, and all the pages are listed on the right side. I can create a number of pages within it, and it's going to take students some getting used to in order to move back and forth between the stuff. And if this block is hidden by default, the students would have to open it in order to get access to this particular thing. Okay, so but if you want, let us say if you want a single page to be visible to students, and you have already typed the content that you want the students to view, then the better option for you to use as a teacher, instead of notebook, you can use something called a page. So let's go ahead and insert a page activity. So Page is again available here, so you can just type page, and the page is going to appear. Okay, so it will insert a single page in which you can have a lot of content that you have typed, and again you have all the editing options that you had available in the book as well. But the only difference is this is a single page, and it's going to take up much lesser resources, and it's going to load up much faster than a book. Okay, so a single page, let us say, and you can add contents of a single page. Contents of a single page. You can have a lot more content to this. So let me just type it and make it into a paragraph. Okay, so you can have a number of paragraphs like this, and if you want this to have a heading, you can just select this and change the heading to either large one or medium or small. You can just make it pre-formatted. Pre-formatted is very good for if you want some coded program, so a few lines of program if you want to provide in the line, then you just click on pre-formatted, and it's going to change the fonts in such a way that each letter is going to take up the same amount of space instead of having different spaces for different lengths. Like L is taking a lot less length than the letter E. That's not going to happen in the pre-formatted text. It's going to be easier for you to have a good idea about measurement of how many okay, let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so you get a good idea about this. Fine, so yeah. So this is how you can just get a good idea about in which column or how many words are over in a particular line. That as well you will be able to measure it if you're using pre-formatted text. Okay, so all these options are over, and we have already seen most of these options. You have left align, right align, and center line, and all these things. If you want to subscript, superscript, or strike, underline, all these you can insert. You can also insert tables, not here, this is equation. So if you want table, you can click here, how many rows and columns you want. If you want a caption tables, you can just do that and create a table. It's going to be initially appearing like this, but it will expand, right? Expand. So this is a column one, right? And then we have column 2, column 3, so on. Fine, so we can continue to add stuff in this. This will be appearing like a table. Okay, so when we save it, save and display, so one, okay, so I by mistake added all this stuff into description. I was supposed to add it here in the page content. So when we save it, I can see this is appearing like a page. Book appears like this. Okay, book appears like this. The icon is different, and book is written at the top. Page icon is different, and it appears like this. And this is how, when we remove edit, this is how it will be visible to the students. Now when they open it, they will be able to see contents like this. Fine. So of course there are a lot of other ways in which if you know more and more about editing options, you can control more and more aspects of this particular page. For example, here for the table, the borders are not visible. So even when I remove this dark mode, you can see it's not, even though it's following the structure of a column and row, a definite border is not separating them. If you want that to happen, you will have to go back to settings. This is where we can edit the contents. So let me remove all this from the description part. Okay, and here this is where I need to make the changes. So So edit table caption. Okay, so it is not providing as an option to make the borders, but if you are familiar with HTML, then you have an option for going inside of the code. So this is the HTML code, and this is where the table code is defined. So you'll have to add a few lines like border equals to, let's say, 2px, 2px. And when we come back, okay, let's come back, you can see that the table is indeed having a border around it. Okay, but why is it appearing only outside? Table border red caption. So I think this word, we have to add it wherever we want the border to appear. Okay, save and display. Yeah, so you can see inside also we have the border applied, and outside also we are getting a thick border. So this way, if you know HTML, you can control it in more depth. Okay, so for those who are not familiar with this, you can just make all the edits in MS Word, and when you copy and paste that text from MS Word onto this, most of the formatting will be copied from over there. Okay, so that's a good way of doing it. One suggestion for how to complete this. So we are done with the page, and okay, so I think we have covered most of the things that I usually go ahead and use in my courses. So let's also talk a little bit about collaborative notes preparation. There are lots of different tools available, and we can use any of those tools to collaboratively prepare notes along with our colleagues. Fine. So I mostly prefer the Google Suite. Google Drive is freely available attached with your Gmail ID. So when we sign into our Gmail ID, we just have to click on this 3x3 buttons panel, and we have to click on Drive. That will bring us to the Google Drives, and from here we can create a lot of documents, Google Sheets and Google Slides. So these are very they can be shared, these documents. Let's say if this is one document, and we can share this document with our colleagues through their Gmail IDs, and when they sign into the Gmail ID, they will have an option to edit this. Okay, so they'll be able to edit it. There are different levels of sharing as well, so we can share it to them as editor, or if we don't want them to be able to edit, we can just share it as a viewer, or if we just want them to suggest a few comments, we can just share it as a commenter. So as soon as they make any changes as a commenter, the same is going to be visible to us, and whether we can either accept or reject those changes. Okay, and if you want to remove the access at any point, you are free to do so. And let us say if you want a particular document to be available to anyone who is having the link to this particular document, so you can just change this from restricted to anyone with the link. Okay, so anyone with the link again can be a viewer, commenter, or editor. Right, so lots of options are there for us to do this. I don't want this to be available with the link. I just want it to be restricted, so that's what I'm choosing. And you can see that we have collected a data about lots of different questions for engineering mechanics. So similarly, I'm collecting at every point of time. I'll be collecting data for various different subjects. So we are making courses and question banks for engineering subjects. We are starting with mechanical engineering topics, but we also are looking forward to expand it to other subjects. So if any of the faculty members who are attending this seminar are interested in creating the contents in a collaborative way, you can always contact us, and we can come together to create these courses. Okay, so there is a lot of scope for creation of these courses, and we are hoping that by conducting more of these seminars, we'll come in touch with more and more number of faculty members who have similar ideologies, similar way of thinking that we have here, and so that we can come together in order to create content which is interactive, interesting, and which is useful to the students more than ever. So I will just stop here. If you have any comments or suggestions, or if you have any questions, you can let me know. So just go through that and I'll try to clear the doubts. Okay, so we just have 5 more minutes. In fact I ended my session a little earlier than I had thought. So just going through the comments to see if there are any questions here for me. I don't find any as of now at the beginning. Okay, so okay, nice session indeed, thank you, Amol Murgai ji. Then yeah, the form link has been shared for today's feedback, so you can all go through the link and quickly submit your feedback so that your attendance will be recorded, and we can ensure that your certificate also reaches you as soon as the FDP ends. So Jyoti ma'am, another lucid and helpful session, Srikanth sir, thank you ma'am. And before I end, I'd also like to tell you that we have our channels. Of course, you are attending this particular FDP on Let's Learn and Grow Together, which is a channel run by our Professor Godke sir. And I have my own channel here on YouTube, and that channel is you can reach at that channel by typing my name, and from time to time I'll be uploading videos mostly on engineering graphics, then CAD CAM, and how to innovatively use the different technologies in education field in order to teach, in order to make the content interactive and interesting for the students, because we are living in an age wherein the entertainment industry has grown leaps and bounds. We have movies like RRR or Avatar, which are fighting with us to grab the students' attention. And if we are not upping our challenge, if you are not taking up the challenge of the growing technology in order to make our content more interactive for the students, I think we will become obsolete. Okay, so there are already developments going on in the artificial intelligence in the market, which can completely take away our jobs from us. So it's high time that we realize the importance of upgrading ourselves and trying to use more of technology in order to be able to present our content in a better fashion. So I guess that's it for this particular session. Let me just once again quickly check out if we have any other comments. So I don't think we have any questions left. So I'm hopeful that these sessions are useful to you, and you have actually created an account in one of the free portals. So you can either go for Moodle Cloud, which provides you 45 days of free Moodle without advertisements. I think this is the best place where you can do all your practice, because the server is fast, it loads much faster, and also it doesn't have any advertisements present on it. So just before 45 days you can download whatever work you have done on a particular course, and that course you can upload to any other Moodle site of your choice. So you can continue practicing that way. And if you want a more stable site, a site which is which allows you to add more number of students and also is perpetually available to you. I suggest you to go for gnomio.com. The main disadvantage here is that this site provides some advertisements on whatever site you create, and it's going to be a little disturbing for the students, but it will be perpetually available to you, and you can continue creating and sharing the content to the students for as long as you wish. So with this, I'm just going to stop today's session. Thanks once again for joining us in this session. I hope you'll come back for the next session when we'll be covering some more advanced topics of using Moodle for NB and NAAC purpose. Thank you.